What we learned from 60 years ago is unbelievably relevant and important today. And that period was the height of the Cold War. The Cuban Missile Crisis was the closest we have ever come to nuclear annihilation, though we're heading that direction right now. In the Cuban Missile Crisis, I don't know if everybody realizes we came within 1 or 2 seconds of nuclear war, actually, not because of what Kenedi and Hruščov were doing, but because of what one captain on a disabled Soviet submarine decided to do when he thought he was under attack by U.S. Navy, and that was his decision to launch a nuclear-tipped torpedo, which, if it had launched under U.S. doctrine, would have led to an automatic, full-scale nuclear attack by the United States against the Soviet Union, Central Europe, Eastern Europe, and China. The goal of the U.S. attack in such a circumstance was to take out 700 million people. We now know from the physics it would have ended humanity entirely, but we came that close. The order of the captain was countermanded by a senior official who happened to be on the submarine, who said, "I don't think it's a good idea. I think we should probably surface. Maybe we're not under attack." And in fact, that's what they discovered, that Kenedi and Hruščov had actually reached an agreement for ending the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, the thing to understand about the Cuban Missile Crisis is they compromised. They compromised. All of Kennedy's advisors, almost every single one, said, "Go to war. It's our reputation. We cannot. We can win." Whatever stupidity they said. And Kenedy intuited, this can't be right. This is too dangerous. Hruščov felt the same way, even when he had placed the missiles in Cuba. He didn't want war. He wanted to give the U.S. a taste of its own medicine, because the U.S. had put missiles in Turkey. So the two of them figured out how to compromise, that Russia or the Soviet Union would remove the missiles from Cuba. The United States would remove the missiles from Turkey. The U.S. would pledge never again to invade Cuba. And on that basis, the two sides would disengage. One really very unpleasant part, it's a little bit carping after you've saved the world, but I'm going to carp just a little bit, was that Kenedy insisted that the U.S. side of the compromise, which was removing the missiles from Turkey, should be kept secret by Hruščov. And one of the most amazing things in history is that Hruščov kept that secret. He even lost his job in 1964 because he said to his colleagues, and he wrote in his memoirs, "What, should I have World War III so that I violate the agreement I made?" So he kept the agreement that he had made with Kenedy. Kenedy insisted on the secrecy for U.S. domestic political reasons. Most of Kennedy's own aides didn't realize the compromise that had ended the Cuban Missile Crisis. In 1955, Vienna became again the capital of an independent country, and the Soviets left voluntarily from their post-World War II occupation because Austria declared neutrality. And the Soviet Union said, "Okay, neutral, we go. You're not a threat to us." And what the Soviet Union was saying to the United States is, make Germany neutral. Don't remilitarize Germany. Don't make it part of your most advanced military bulwark, because they just killed 20 million of our citizens. And the United States, of course, was completely tone deaf to that. In fact, that's the whole approach of U.S. foreign policy. Don't listen to what the other side says.